Last week, I built a simple AI voice agent. It automatically calls new leads the moment they come in. And in 7 days, the agent generated me $1,000. So here's how it works. Every time I add a name and a phone number into a spreadsheet, the AI immediately picks up the phone, calls the lead, has a real conversation, qualifies them, and books the appointment for me, completely automatically. And in this video, I'll be showing you guys the exact system that I built, how the lead trigger works, how the AI handles the conversation, and how you can deploy this for your clients or for your own offers. So without any further ado, let's jump in and get started. Alright guys, so let's go ahead and get started with building this agent. Now this agent is going to be really simple to build. There's nothing complicated in this, to be honest, and I'll also be giving you guys templates so you guys can build pretty much this exact same thing without having to do anything. So you can check out the links in the description for that, but let me go over how I built this and how you can also build this. So currently we are on retellai.com, which is a voice AI website. You can build extremely realistic voice AI agents using this website. So Retell is what's going to be handling our phone calls. The way we're going to trigger our phone calls is going to be through this Google Sheets file and also this Zapier workflow. So basically once we add a name and a phone number to this Sheets file, it's automatically going to call them and then it will update these 3 fields. So once the call is completed, it's going to say true and the user sentiment is going to come here and also an AI call summary. So you can just get an idea of what was talked on the call. And this is the Zapier workflow that is going to be triggering the call. You can see we have a Google Sheets node and a Retell AI node. I'm going to be going over this in just a bit. However, I will also be leaving a template link in the description so you can pretty much replicate this exact thing without having to do anything. You just need to enter your credentials and that should be pretty much it. And similarly with this is the post call stuff that we're doing. So once the call ends and it's analyzed by Retell, then we're just going to, find that specific spreadsheet row. So for example, if we called, this row, then it's going to update these 3 fields using this node. Again, we're going to go over all of this in just a bit, but let me just go ahead and show you guys a demo so you guys can get an understanding of how this works. So I'm just going to write my name, Nafe, and then I will also write my phone number, and I just entered my information. Now it is going to call me in just a bit. It might take a couple of minutes sometimes, but it will eventually call you. And I can show you guys, but I am getting a phone call on my phone. Hello?
Hi there. Thanks for picking up. I'm calling from Apex Auto Insurance because you requested a free car insurance quote. Is now a good time to chat for a couple of minutes?
Yeah, no, sorry, I'm not interested anymore. Thank you.
No problem at all. Thank you for your time and have a great day.
All right, and as you can see, the call has ended. I just said I'm not interested because then it would start asking me questions, but you can see as soon as the call ends, you can see that it says true. User sentiment is negative, obviously, and the summary just said that, they're not interested. So you can see this, all of this was done automatically. We just need to set up these workflows once, and whenever you just add your new leads, you can either do this through a form or you can, just manually add them if you want. It is going to call everybody automatically. So that's a pretty cool idea. Let's go ahead and get started with Retell first. I'll go over the prompt and I'll show you guys how this works and how to set up your agent inside of Retell, and then we're going to move on to Zapier. So if you want to get started with Retell, you're going to go to the link in the description. Once you do that, you're going to be taken to this page, which is going to be basically your dashboard where you can just create your agents. You're just going to click create an agent and then voice agent, and then just say single prompt agent. That should be enough for us, and start from blank should be fine. Once you do that, it's going to take you to this brand new agent page. I'm actually going to be going back to the agent that I created originally so that I can show you guys, because the process is pretty simple. All you need to do is paste in this prompt. Now you can either write your own prompt yourself or you can ask ChatGPT to write you a prompt. What I did for this was I just asked ChatGPT to write me a prompt for Retell AI for a car insurance company appointment scheduling assistant, and it gave me this whole thing. So the goals are to confirm that they requested a code, verify vehicle and current insurance details, ask when their policy renews, and all this stuff. The rules are be natural, conversational, and concise. Ask one question at a time, and all these things. You can see that it's a pretty straightforward and simple prompt. You can get pretty complex and pretty, you can go in depth with these prompts. But just for this demo, I think this prompt should be enough. I'm going to leave this exact prompt in the description, by the way. So if you guys want to copy this, you can feel free to do that. One thing that I did change here was the welcome message. It's set to user speaks by default. We're going to say AI speaks first, and dynamic message should be fine because obviously we want, if the AI is calling the human, the AI should speak first, right? So that is what we're doing here. You can change your voice, you can change your language, and you can change the model up here. But all those things I'm going to leave as default because I think they're good enough. So that is pretty much all we need to do inside of Retell. Our agent is basically ready once you've added these things. What we're going to do now is we're going to go to Zapier. And again, you're going to go to the link in the description to go to Zapier. For this specific workflow, I think you can even use the free plan. If you want to make more than, I think, 100 calls per month, then you might need to upgrade. But I think 100 calls per month is also a pretty big number, right? So what we're doing here is we basically added a Google Sheets node And in that, if I go to setup, you're going to have to connect your Google Sheets app. The way you do this is if I just click change, you're going to select Google Sheets here. Zapier has over 7,000 apps and tools available, so you can connect any of those. But once you've selected Google Sheets, you are going to have to log into your Google account. So just do that. I've already done that, as you can see. And the trigger event, what I selected was new or updated spreadsheet row. What this does is basically whenever you add a new row to this or you update a row, then this event will be triggered, right? So I think that should be good enough. We're going to press continue, and then you're going to have to select your spreadsheet. So for me, insurance leads is the spreadsheet that I'm using. And then sheet 1 is the only sheet that I have. And the trigger column, now this is important. This is basically the column that it's going to scan for, any new changes. So for me, I just did phone number because obviously you are going to need a phone number to be able to call. So even if I add a name here, it won't call unless I have a phone number, right? So that is, I think, something that is very important. So phone number here is good. If I press continue, then you can just go ahead and test this. So if you have a spreadsheet already created, you can add a name and phone number, and then you can just press find new records and it should appear there. And then you can press continue with selected record. And then comes our second node, which is a Retell AI node. So a good thing about Zapier and Retell is that they do offer integrations for each other. So basically you can just connect Retell with Zapier directly. You don't need to use any webhooks or, any API integrations or anything like that. All you need to do is just press this plus icon right there and select Retell, or, search it up here if it's not available. But yeah, that is pretty much all you need to do. And when you're in this, all you need to do is inside of setup, action event is going to be make a phone call. You're going to have to connect your Retell AI account. You are going to need your API key for this. The way to get that is pretty simple. Go to Retell. We're going to go back to the home page and we're going to go down to settings, API keys, and then you can just press add key and then API key and just name it whatever you want, create it, and then copy it, and that should be it. So once you have your API key, just come here and just add your Retell connection. Once you're done with that, press continue. And now this part is important because you're gonna have to purchase a phone number from Retell in order to be able to call somebody, right? So the way you do that is pretty simple. Again, you go to Retell, go back, and then you're going to go down to phone numbers right here. And then you can press plus, buy a new number, and then you can buy a number from either Twilio or Telenix, I think that's what it's pronounced, but you can choose pretty much any one of these numbers and you can press purchase. Once you have a number, you can just copy that and go to the call trigger and paste it right here. So that should be added to your Retell account. And then the to number is just going to be the number value over here. So basically your phone number of the customer. So just press plus here, and from the output of your Google Sheets node, you can just add your phone number. And that should be pretty much it. If you want to pass in any dynamic variables from Retell, you can do that here. If you want to learn about dynamic variables, I do have a more detailed tutorial on Retell. You can check that out. Link for that is going to be in the description. But for now, we're not going to cover that. Just press continue again. And then if you have everything set up correctly, if you test this step, it should call your phone number. So that is pretty much all you need to do inside of Retell for, the call trigger. Again, if you don't want to do any of this, you don't really have to. All you need to do is just go to the link in the description and you will find the free template that I have made for you guys. You can just use that template, add in your credentials, and you should be good to go. So now once the call has been completed, we're going to move on to the post-call analysis and we're going to populate these 3 fields. The way you do that is by using another Zapier automation. Again, you're going to find a link to this template in the description as well. So the way this works is by catching a webhook that Retell is going to send after a call is complete. So all you need to do is add a webhook trigger inside of Zapier and copy the URL from here and then paste that inside of Retell. The way you paste it is by going to your agents and just select the agent that you want to add this into, and then go to webhook settings, and then agent level webhook is just going to be your URL from Zapier. This is the URL that you just copied from here. And after that, I just added this update spreadsheet row. And if I just edit this, I'll show you guys how I ended up adding this lookup spreadsheet row. So I just selected my spreadsheet. And then in here, once I was, adding the row, obviously we don't want a hard-coded row, right? So what I did was I just clicked this button right here, add search step. What this does is that this basically is going to give you this node, which is going to then search for a specific thing, right? So what we're going to do is that we're basically going to look up in the phone number column. We're going to look for the call to number, basically the number that we just called using Retell. We're going to look for that number inside the phone number column. So essentially what it's doing is that it's basically going through your whole, spreadsheet, and it's just looking for this number right here. As soon as it finds it, it is then going to add information to that specific row because it corresponds to that specific call. So once we found the row number, then all we're doing is basically we're just going and pasting all the information. So inside of called, we're just adding true. This was a hard-coded value that I just added myself. Now the user sentiment and your AI call summary, these are two things that you get from your retail call by default. It automatically does the analysis and it just gives you these things. You don't really need to do anything for them. You just need to, click plus and then, search for user sentiment and just drag that in like that. And similarly with the call summary as well. However, if you do want to extract more information from your call, you can do that by going to retail and then post call data extraction. This is where you can add new variables to basically extract from your call, right? So if I press add and let's say I add a selector and I say lead status, okay? Lead underscore status. And then I can add choices. I can maybe say hot, warm, or cold. Warm or cold. And so now that I've added this, after every call, it's also going to send me the lead status. So I can maybe go to my Google Sheets file and maybe add another field and call it lead status. And then I can also populate that information using the same exact way. But that is pretty much it. Now, if I just go ahead and press continue, and if you press retest step, it should basically update all this information. One last thing that you need to do that I forgot to mention before is attaching your phone number to your agent. So what you need to do is you need to go to your retail agent. All you need to do is just press publish. And then you need to add an outbound phone number. And in this, you can just select the phone number that you just purchased inside of retail. And then once this is done, you can press publish and then your agent is going to be ready. So I'm just going to do that. And then you can come back to Zapier, make sure to publish both of your Zaps. And if you've done everything correctly, as soon as you add anything inside of your Google Sheets file, your call should be automated. And with that being done, that brings this video to an end. I really hope you guys learned something new and I really hope you guys enjoyed as well. If you have any questions, be sure to let me know in the comments below and I will see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.